welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Babel. We're now bringing you this second match, and this match is actually going to be pretty exciting. We got ourselves here Renovatio team number 2 versus Cow Level Gaming. Cow Level Gaming has been around since the alpha stages. The draft has just started, so let's go into it. Cow Level Gaming, I think, is founded by Cerebro, so this should be Cerebro's team here. And Renovatio Team 2 is, I think, a team that's split out from Team 1 with Jumpy Lion, who played on the primary team in 2015, now playing on Renovatio Team 2. Still, I don't have the full roster for both sides, so we're actually going to have to go in the game before we know who's playing what. But what I do know is that the skill gap between Renovatio Team 2 and Team 1 seems to be pretty close. And that's actually going to be okay. And I will not be surprised if at the end of today you have two Renovatio teams going into the SEA finals. Of course, I'm hoping the other teams, step up and put up a good fight. But it does seem like Renovatio, with so many teams, they've got so much resources. They can train with each other, scrim with each other. It's a lot easier when you're part of the same organization. And all of those are just good benefits of just being part of the same team. Alright, so we see Liming and Zagara getting banned out in the BOE. Battlefield of Eternity, Zagara is just too good. She could solo the Immortal, which is why she's being first banned. And you got Liming getting banned as well. Rhaegar is going to get picked up here. That's awesome. Tassadar Jaina going to Renovatio as well. I like that Tassadar so far. I think that vision is very important. Without Zagara, Tassadar is going to at least be able to provide that kind of vision. Jaina, on the flip side, does a lot of damage. And I think that that's going to be okay if they have a good lineup that can provide her the opportunity to flank. Because if they don't give her that space and freedom, she's not going to have the opportunity to do those burst damage. Now, Raynor, getting picked up prematurely here, could be like a bit of a deterrent against ETC. I don't think CLG, or rather Call Level Gaming, has got a hero pool restriction. I think Raynor is really just the fact that they don't want to have to deal with the ETC, and he's just one of the best counter out there. With Relentless Leader at level 13. Now the next pick here should be a warrior, because they don't have a warrior and there's too many good warriors that's out there right now. I think the Rena pick is really, really early though. And Muradin getting picked up here, it's okay. Could have been a Tyrande Muradin combo, which would be really good to have on BOE because it's such a small map, rotation is going to be so good. And you got Rhaegar as well. Now Rhaegar Raynor reminds me of my much needed need to say that the Bloodlust is a viable composition, and please continue to use Bloodlust in Hero Leagues and quick matches because you're keeping the dream alive. I'm just kidding, but I would love to see Thrall going through to CLG as well, but it does not seem like that's the case. Renovatio is contemplating a ban on Thrall already. If Thrall is there, Rhaegar, Raynor, Thrall, and knowing Call Level Gaming Cerebro, this could actually pretty much be a possible Bloodlust game. Okay, Thrall's gonna get banned. And CLG here has got quite a few options to ban as well. Most noticeable ban would actually be the Warrior department, and I think that it's okay to ban out ETC. Picking up Raynor so early on, you don't really have to let ETC through, but it doesn't matter. You're gonna ban out Sonya. Sonya does a lot of work against Muradin, so they don't want to have Muradin's HP go down so fast. Uther again. Will not be surprised if ETC is going to come out here. But nope, it seems like they're not going to contemplate ETC. They're going to think about Greymane. What Greymane does to this lineup is that Jaina would be the first one to go in with the burst. Greymane finishes off a target, jumps to the second one, does a lot of burst. But I actually really like the ETC a lot because that's going to provide the crowd control that they need. And you know that Raynor does have Relentless Leader. That's a bit of a counter, but you still get the Divine Shield ETC. Just make sure that your combo goes out and executed perfectly against the other targets. Raynor's okay by the side. I think that's fine. Also, you have a huge combo to line this one up with, which would be the Jaina Ring of Frost. Overall, I would say Water Elemental is the better pick, but Ring of Frost has got the extra burst. It does about 1.6k damage. With all of the Frostbidden going into plays and Northern Exposure as well. Yeah, I think with Northern Exposure it's actually more than 1.6k, which is like the full HP of squishies there, like Raynor. You should be able to force out Adrenaline Rush in that instance. And that's just Jaina's skill set. So with Tassadar behind, you're gonna do a lot more work. Oh wow, we're actually gonna see Hammer. Okay, Hammer coming to play here is almost 100% that this is Bloodlust, guys. It's almost 100%. We just need one more right-click hero to just blow my mind. It should be the Tyrande. I'm hoping to see a Tyrande. Oh boy. If it's Anubarak, that's fine as well, but just do take note that there is the Mosh Pit to worry about. Okay, we are seeing Illidan. Wow. I guess we are all not prepared. Greymane would be a great pick here. I would love to see Greymane. But Karazim seems like support overview, or rather overdose. I would like to see Greymane, yeah. Now, Illidan, Sergeant Hammer, Rhaegar, Raynor still doesn't guarantee it's a Bloodlust. I'm only saying it's a Bloodlust because it does look like it is. There's a very high chance it's actually going to be. But do note that there is the need for Ancestral Healing because BOE, Battlefield of Eternity, it's a very small battleground, and you really want to have that early game advantage. Now, Hammer is going to give you that advantage in the first 1 or 2 Immortals, but key thing here to know is that post-level 10, Renovatio is going to have a huge advantage in the form of Mosh Pit, Divine Shields, and all of the other shenanigans that they have there. If you don't have Ancestral, you don't have an instant counter to burst, which is a huge problem for CLG. Jaina's going to be able to erase one target. It's 99%. With Cone of Cold at place, it will be that Hammer. Illidan's probably a little bit harder to take down, but you're playing Illidan into ETC, and that's a big problem. So I'm going to tell you, obviously, that while I applaud the creativity of CLG and this draft, and I really just want to wish them all the best in life. Good luck, sirs. I actually think Renovatio's draft's definitely a lot better. Yeah. 2 support, consistent to card meta, ETC Mosh Pit, Divine Shield, Buzz Jaina, Greymane follow-up, you name it, they got it. This is not easy for CLG to play. Tassadar is definitely there, and he's going to give the vision. It's going to be easy to locate Hammer because of that. And when that's done, Jaina, Greymane, they go to work, and the Hammer falls. It's a pretty simple position here. Once again, guys, I really am very, very appreciative that you are here to join us today in the Philippines Finals. This is Babel, my co-caster, Arctic Shadow. He's not able to make it. He's feeling a little bit down, so give him your energy. I'm having a bit of a dry cough as well. I just came back from Macau. It's a great experience. It's a fantastic holiday. Was there to do a little bit of a sightseeing and basically a food trip. It was really good. I like it a lot. And now, though, we are waiting for both teams to join in the lobby. Do note that the broadcast just started, so we may actually very much likely go into overtime here today. So that's like wee AM in the morning here for all of you guys. And let me actually try and calculate what time the NA broadcast starts. I actually think it's actually going to run into the NA broadcast. So this is going to be exciting. We'll see. Okay, CLG had a bit of a roster change. They actually had a big roster change. Cerebro's the only player that's still left on the team. He's also the founder of CLG, Call Level Gaming. It's an alpha team. He's been playing this game for a while now. Has his own show as well. So that part's really good. For Renovatio, though, this is a team with Jumpy Lion and Misery Pro is not part of this team, but Misery Pro replaced Jumpy Lion in Team 1. Now he's in Team 2. Team 1, 2, and 3 doesn't mean that Team 1's the best. It just means that the team has been formed a lot sooner. Team 2 is it's just, I think, a later addition to Renovatio's lineup. And for Team 3, it's also a very late addition. For Renovatio Team 2, they got some really good players there. Kaija, Jumpy Lion, Asurai. It's going to be exciting to see. Okay. So this is going to be a pretty interesting position for both teams to pick up. I'm excited. I hope you guys are. Bloodlust, maybe. We don't know, man. It's gonna be hard. So, a few key reasons why CLG's lineup is so interesting slash aka questionable is because it's a fundamental flaw to have Illidan and Hammer on the same team. It's a fundamental flaw because Illidan's going to be a forward-moving hero. Hammer is not the most mobile. He's probably going to be behind. And you really need to play a protect or sustain comp if you want to play Hammer. Illidan also needs the same protection. And the thing here is that if you play Illidan, you generally see a very aggressive support. If you play Hammer, you see a very passive support. You see a lot more crowd control. Here you only got one Muradin, and you only got one Rhaegar for support. So either this is going to really look surprising, or it is going to be Renovatio's easy game once again. Renovatio 2 at least. Alright, we're now finally starting up the game. We're going into the game itself. The game's loading up. So, appreciate your support and you watching this series. Shout outs to sponsors. We got Razer Pair for a sponsor, as well as XSplit, our broadcasting partner here. We also got PLDT as well as Shop TV for your entertainment. So going in Battlefield of Eternity here, it is a very, very interesting lineup. I have to say, it's interesting, guys. This is the kind of lineup that if you give any caster, his mind's going to get blown immediately because it's so good to cast this game. I hope it works. I hope it's hype because it works. I don't think it's going to be a position where Renovatio expected it to be. So at least they caught them off guard. Right now, all that's left is going to be up to the execution. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Going to game number 1 between Renovatio Team 2 as well as Cow Level Gaming. On the blue team, we got CLG. And Cerebro is going to be playing as the Sergeant Hammer. Idog's going to be playing as the Rhaegar. We got Myria on to the Raynor. And Mike Maggot's going to be playing as the Muradin. Last but not least, it seems like Freak's going to be playing as the Illidan. And on the red team, it's going to be Renovatio Team 2. Jumpy Lion will be your Greymane. Leamington onto the Tessadar. And in the bottom side, we got Asurai onto the ETC. Kaija playing as Jaina. Last but not least, a 4 will be your Uther. So we're now going into this game number 1 in match number 2. It is still the round of 8. All 8 teams are still playing the first round here. We had a bit of a delay this morning, and currently the schedule is very far pushed back. So far, it looks like the rotation phase is going to really favor Renovatio because there's nothing much that the support of CLG can do. It's only one Rhaegar, and Chain Heal does not do as much in the early stages here. And already can see Cerebro is not taking the aggressive stance to siege up here because he cannot afford to do so. Now having to pull back, already you see the stun going out against Muradin. Muradin getting bursted down, but jumps back out of trouble there with Dwarf Toss. Will be okay. Cerebro needs to be very careful. Not the most mobile hero in the entire game. Got to be very careful of his position here. Freak top lane though, a huge problem here is if when you put an Illidan up against a Greymane, Greymane is going to be able to take him down pretty easily. And that's because he does have those, I think, Gilnean cocktails, and those really do a lot of work against Illidan. Illidan may be able to jump in on Jumpy Lion, pun intended, 100%, but it's going to be very tricky. Mike Maggot's landing a stun. Cerebro with the push back there, a little bit of trouble now. Face Melt not doing a lot of work. Asurai also taking a bit of a beating. There goes a protective shield. He will be okay. Pulls right back. Stumble does not connect. And RNV2, or rather Renovatio 2, will be okay. So top lane, you still see the aggression coming from Greymane. You still see him winning the lane. Freak's taking a lot of beating already. Tapped the well already, so he is not gonna have the well resource to work with. And Jumpy Lion just really controlling his entire phase. Immortal's now gonna spawn, and this is where you will see Hammer's play being very, very pivotal to the team's success. Meanwhile, top lane, and it seems like Illidan's caught completely unexpected, out of guard. The air vents party bush just happened once again. Leamington there with the right click, not much to be done. That said, without much of a support for Hammer, Hammer's really, really weak right now. Surai maybe looking to close the gap, but looks like he wants to go for Muradin first. Stumble does not connect. Again, red team pulls back. And CLG once again just defending the Immortal. They don't have Illidan. They're going to have to wait for him. Leamington takes a bit of beating, pulls right back out. Mike Maggot dropping a bit of a weird position there. Has to be very careful. There goes the Blizzard. Does connect very well. Mike Maggot's looking like the primary target. Jumpy Lion on the Greymane goes in. Gilnean Cocktail not used yet, but he will be able to pick up the kill regardless. Muradin's already gone. And we got one man down on the side of CLG. 2 killed so far for Renovatio. They're all going to change sites right now. And it does seem like that the Angel is going to be on the right side. The blue Immortal is in a lot of trouble. Hammer's not able to do anything there because it does not have the support. And normally when you play Sergeant Hammer, you really want to have support for him. Support not in the form of just, you know, heals, but rather support in the form of having crowd control to guard his flank so that he could really just safely siege up and do the work, do the damage, carry the team. Right, so here we actually will see the Red Immortal push the bottom lane. And Stumbolt connecting on Jaina, but there's no follow-up here. Hammer cannot give chase, is not good for that. Looks like Renovatio is going for yet another greedy play. One on top, one at the bottom. Renovatio Team 2, that is. Cerebro getting stunned out. Blizzard going down to force out. This is actually a very smart placement for Blizzard because this forces the Muradin to not retreat. He's going to take a lot of unnecessary damage if he does. But if he moves on forward, he's also going to take a little bit of damage from Tassadar and Jaina. It's almost like a damage guaranteed position to adopt. Cerebro pops those thrusters, will be okay. But he does not have the thrusters for the next 30 seconds at least. And the red team pulls right back out. Illidan with the sweeping strike there. Not, still pretty good skills for him to have. The sweeping strike and dive should be able to put up a pretty good fight against Greymane. Looking at the talent option so far, it looks to be very standard, nothing surprising yet. We're looking at a standard hammer damage build going in is a bit of a survival base. Rainer with Give Me More. Lightning Shield coming out for Rhaegar. I like that a lot. And the potty bush being set up here by Renovatio Team 2. Don't seem to be very effective. There is not going to be a fly in that area. Uh-oh, Cerebral, a little bit of trouble. Thrust is still going to be fine, but does not have the pushback there. We'll be okay. So top lane, we're seeing the blue team capture the mercenary camps. Seems like the Kashras will be plowing down the top lane, and there's nothing much Renovatio could actually do there. Looking at more talent options coming up from the red team, it seems like there's no perfect aim for Greymane. And he's going for a generally okay Gilnean Cocktail build, which means level 16 could be... We may actually be looking at a concentrated blast, but we'll see how that works out. ETC standard build, once again, utility-based Uther. And on the side for Jaina, this is actually pretty exciting. Going for the deep chill instead after it has been nerfed, not going for a lingering chill. And it looks like it's going to be the Frost Bolt build with Icelands being picked up already. So that's the tricky part. On the side here for red team's Teslar, very standard mental acuity as well as the dip shift going in. So definitely going to be expecting depressions as well as dimensional warp. So far, looks like the Immortal's going to spawn in just about 5 seconds. And red team going for the bonus Bruiser camp right here. Perfectly timed. Bottom lane already has got a fallen Shaman's pushing down the bottom lane. But it looks like he's a little bit out of position there. And we'll be going down pretty soon. Now, back to the Immortal fight here. Oh, Hammer gets caught out there by the ETC. The stun from 4 does connect as well on the Uther. Light's Justice doing its work. Asurai pulling back once again. And Freak, nothing much can do. But 5 versus 5. Greymane already going to work on the blue Immortal there. And the blue team, we got Mike Maggot's leading the fray, knocking a little bit. Cerebro already sieging up, doing a lot of work. Tassadar with a Sonic Storm doing a lot of poke against that Sergeant Hammer. But it's on a relatively long cooldown, so that's going to take some time. Looks like the Immortal's still going to go down and hammer. He has done his job. This is where they're going to make sure they stay alive. At least 4 goes in. Great stun. Mike Maggots with the Dwarf Toss. Stays alive, though. And you see Jumpy Line jumping onto the back line. And it looks like it's going to be a mosh pit, but nope, we don't see it coming out because it's not level 10 yet. That would have been perfect if he was already level 10. Unfortunately, not the case. Freak with another dive stays alive, but 2 men down already on the side of CLG. Perfect plays coming in from Renovatio. Once again, 3 men down. Rainer does go down. And it does look like Renovatio surges ahead with 1 full level lead. Maybe make it 1.5. We'll see. Illidan now. It didn't do much. If you want to see the damage chart, it looks pretty sad, really. Illidan with 2,000 hero damage. It's not like he's been even given a space to go in. Does have a very standard Illidan build. I think Immolation and Thrill of Blade actually not gonna be a standard Illidan build. I'm sorry, my mistake there. It looks like Thrill of Battle means it could actually be a cooldown reduction build. It could also be a hunt-based build from Illidan. We've seen that before. There was some discussions on it. But so far, don't think it is going to work. He's not even really knocking on target, so... Yep. We're going to Malto pushing the top lane. Also, Renovatio is going to be here. Illidan's actually at the bottom trying to soak up some lane EXP. And Leamington's also going to swing by. Leamington with a fast wall already up. Level 10 just hit by Renovatio Team 2. And it's going to be the mosh pit. Go for the throat. There we go. Asurai now in a good position. Fast wall coming out. It seems like they're going to pick off the hammer first. The mosh pit will connect and a 3-man connection. The Ring of Frost goes down as well. And the burst will go through. Reyna's already done. Rhaegar's also gone. Looks like Mike Maggots will stay alive for a little bit, but not for long. And the Gilnean cocktail. It's a shotgun blast to the head. It's a kill. We count it as a takedown regardless. 4 men down on the side of CLG. RNV2 now pushing the top lane. We'll be able to pick off the keep here. Pretty dominating fight once again. Illidan in the bottom lane just basically being very, very unfriendly. But much needed unfriendliness is going to be here because he needs to make sure that the team gets level 10. And somehow is already doing his best. Remember when you play those games and you have that guy that just doesn't want to work with the team? I assure you, this is not the case that's happening here. Okay, so 4 actually going to pick up this camp here with Kaija. Looks to be pretty okay position for them both to adopt. Not much of a threat coming up from CLG right here. Mike Maggots actually going in. Gonna be very careful. Mercenary Camps does go to Renovatio. Now, Murden a little bit out of position. Great power slide. Fall-up stun also perfect. Ancestral will connect. Avatar already popped. But Freak now jumping in onto Greymane. Greymane taking a lot of damage. But Illidan does not have the support. They don't have the Ancestral. Nope, it's still going to be Metamorphosis. A perfect Ring of Frost connects onto the backline. 3-man connection there. Looks to be okay. Freak taking a lot of damage as well, but still going against the cow. Wants some beef meat. Will get it. Jumpy line dropping a lot of HP daggers. A Divine Chill. And it looks like Greymane still doing some work against the Murden Ellis. We'll be able to pick up this kill with Gilnean's cocktail. Leamington taking a lot of damage now. Frick pulling back again. Jumpy line a little bit out of position. Don't want to be there. Got to be very careful for waiting for the cooldown to be off. Jumpy line doing a lot of jump damage against that hammer, and the burst will go through. But no Divine Chill means Greymane's out of position, and that will be a kill. And 4 now dropping a lot of HP as well. Frick going in for the chase, but gets stunned already by Uther. And Illidan still going against Jaina, and there goes some extra shield. And the ice block hit. Did not see that coming. But Kaija still alive somehow, waiting for the cooldown on his skills for a reset. Idok still giving chase. Blizzard just trying to cut off the support line. Asurai's there, and he goes in for a stun. Face melt, not even needed. Rhaegar's already gone. Frick also overextends, and 2 men down. But it's not over yet. Myria faces off against the ETC. Power slide in just under 5 seconds, waiting for it to happen, but there's no backup. Asurai goes in, looks for the kill, and oh, there is the adrenaline rush. Looks like Asurai is going to get turned around. He's in a lot of trouble. That's overextension, boy. You're going to have to pull back. 13 against 12. What a position it is for RNV Team 2. And looks to be a pretty interesting combo. It's the Ancestral. It's definitely not the Bloodlust. I'm very disappointed at that. Just like to say that that would have been an epic pickup. It's also not the Hunt. It seems like Thrill for Battle just really resets the cooldown of Illidan and allows him to do a lot more damage. That's fine. I think he actually trade off a bit of extra damage. So I gotta be very careful about that. Immolation at least. We got Asurai with a 4-man mosh pit right there. Ancestral does connect a little bit, but he will still lose the hammer. And Frick going in for the Metamorphosis in the background. Jumps to the other side of the fight, chasing after Tesla right there. Tesla pops the Dimensional Shift. And Hyperion coming and doing a lot of AoE damage. Asurai taking the fall all of a sudden. RNV Team 2 dropping down a lot of HP there. Frick still going with the Sweeping Strike and the dive onto Tassadar in the backline. A perfect dive there, but it trades up for 2 more kills. Jaina is gone as well. Greymane is down. And we got just a 5-man team wipe. Perfect place by Cow Level Gaming there. The Illidan manned up at the right moment. It's also Rhaegar. It's a devastating 4-man mosh pit, but there was just not enough fallout for a burst. We do have a replay, so we're going into it. Here we go. Look at a replay. What a great position it is. Asurai with the flank going in with the mosh pit, and this is the mistake. They had a lot of damage coming in, but Jaina is not in position. Ring of Frost did not do anything there. That would have been really perfect if Jaina was just slightly ahead, if Jaina was in the right position, but she's not. So Kaija kind of really didn't work there. Frick overextends, but he trades for 3 heroes. That's really good. A Blizzard connecting here at the end. There we go. We're also going to actually go back to real time. We still see the Immortal phase going on here, and red team, Immortal already down to below 50% on the site here for Call-Level Gaming. They're just going to have to try and buy some time. Looks like ETC is just taking and soaking up a lot of damage. Stun's not going to connect on anyone. Leamington also in the back line. Asurai leading the fray. Jumpy Lion getting chain stunned, but the cleanse will go down. And also the Divine Shield. Greymane's angry. He's not happy right now. And he looks like the beast that he actually is. And there goes the Ring of Frost connecting on nobody in the background as well. A two-man stun for Murden sets up the fight. Illidan still giving the chase that he very much needs there. The stun goes out. Looks like Ice Block on the Jaina is not going to be effective. Kaija goes down. And all of a sudden you see CLG leading the fray and winning this fight. Possibly. There goes also the Mosh Pit, but it gets cancelled immediately. And you can also see the Inceptor connect in the back line. It looks like CLG equalizes the level difference. They're going to get an Immortal with 50 to 60% shield right there. And this looks really, really good for CLG. It's still a very even game, a lot closer than expected. For RNV2, though, they're going to have to formulate a better plan. The plan is the Mosh Pit, but where is the burst? The Ring of Frost has been missing. Unfortunately, there is not enough damage, even when you had the Mosh Pit going on. That's a big problem. Greymane go for the throat also. Not really picking up any targets. It's not going to work without Jaina setting up the fight. That's the biggest problem the team's facing right here. Jaina rejoins the team. Kaija there with the Blizzard onto the Immortal. Immortal probably going to be able to take on this fort though. With Hammer behind as well, this is going to be a pretty easy one. Cerebro relocates his Hammer. Freak still not going in for the jump yet. Asurai sidesteps away from the stun. Mike Maggots leading the fray. CLG feeling very confident. Got to be very careful here. This is a choke point. And you see the penetrating round coming out. Immortal will go down at the end. Asurai with a backwards power slide. Gonna be okay for now. Mike Maggots taking a bit of a beating, but it's slow coming up from the Upbind Totem doing a lot of work there. And nobody had the decency to turn on the lights. Nobody had the decency to take down the Aircraft Totem. That's just a really, really bad decision-making skill set. You have a full-on Lightning Shield build on Rhaegar, and you also got that double, I think, no, not double. Okay, so it is actually going to be Bullseye. Standard Bullseye, Relentless Leader against the ETC. We anticipated that already. Stone Skin, Sixth Sense, a lot more survival-based Illidan that's very much needed. The only thing that's different is the Thrill of Battle there. Giant Killer, Hover, and Hover Sage mode. This is going to relocate Hammer a little bit better. Looks like he's actually looking to kite, though. So far, if Illidan goes in and the whole team reacts to him, it looks like Hammer space is still going to get created regardless. Meanwhile, on this side here for RNV2, it's going to be Running Wall and Concentrated Blast, so it looks to be very standard Gilneum build with Viciousness instead of the Inabist. And we got Face Melt, Imposing Presence, and Northern Exposure. So that's the standard build going in here. Not the Iceland's build. I don't see Icy Veins here. That's the problem. Just the Ice Block. And I think that's fine. He has served him pretty well so far. Gonna have to be a lot more careful though. There is the Benediction, Shrink Ray, and on the side here for Tesla, it's a standard Dimensional Warp Impressions. Gonna lift this damage chart up for a little bit for you guys. Meanwhile, you see Asurai going in with a Power Slide. And the fight about to happen here. Mike Maggots pulling back once again. A Raid team now. Just dancing around a little bit. Immortal spawning, here we go. And CLG at 17.5. Definitely wants to get a little bit more EXP. Cerebro here needs to set up shop, man. You're going to have to set up shop. You're losing rental every single second there. It's not good. Got to be very careful, though. Tassadar giving the vision that he needs. The mental acuity is going to reduce the cooldown 15 seconds, I think. Mike Maggots a little bit of trouble. Leamington doing a little bit of work. Asurai going with the Power Slide. The burst not going to happen. The Greymane a little bit out of position. Kaija not getting stunned there. Murden with the misplay. But Frick is ready to go in. And there goes the Sweeping Strike. Leamington dropping a lot of HP there. There goes the Ring of Frost on 3 or 4. Relentless Leader does connect, but it doesn't matter at the end. With a fantastic stumble, the fight is safe. ETC does go down at the end. Now 4 in a lot of trouble. Pops the Divine Shield on himself. That's not the best play. But he's definitely still going down. And 4 is left or dead. And we got Leamington, Kaija, Jumpy Lion pulling back. 3 men still alive. But RNV2 looks like they are losing to this draft here by CLG. And it's purely execution related problem. You saw the Relentless Leader pushing back the ETC and the mosh pit connecting at the end, but great positioning there by Murden on this side. We're actually going to see if we have a replay. But in the meantime, we got Immortal to splitting sides, and it does look like it is going to be a full shield Immortal here for CLG. That looks really scary. Okay, Greymane's going. They're going to work on a blue Immortal. Maybe a little bit slow, but it's still going to work. So that's not full shield, probably 75%, or maybe if they're lucky, a little bit more, closer to 50%. And there we go. We're going to see the replay right now before the Immortal spawns. So look at this fight. Pay attention to Murden's positioning. He's on the right side. He's giving chase to the background. That's because he's supporting the backline chase created by Illidan. The space created by Illidan, really, really good. Freak with a backward. Metamorphosis, he did not trust his teammate there. Needs to reflect a little bit, but he's going to be okay. And at the end of the day, the fight's won. Would have been a lot better if he just Metamorphosis in front, because that's going to help him. It does still give him HP, but just not a lot. And Ancestral would have connected regardless. So that's going to be perfect play. He would have gotten at least 1 to 2 more kills because he's Illidan. So we got those dive and sweeping strike that Renovatio is going to have to worry about. Now we have got Immortal pushing a bottom lane. The Mike Magus taking a bit of an unnecessary damage already. Rhaegar going in with the lightning shield and those shields coming out as well. And you can see that the blue Immortal is plowing down the lane. Here comes Hyperion, a lot more AoE damage. And the structure is going to get pushed on a lot faster as well. Asurai, a little bit of a questionable position to be in. He gets chain stun. Nope, the clan's going to go down as well. Ring of Frost again going out without connecting on anyone. Not much of a real damage being down there. Hyperion expires, but the damage has been done. The keep does go down at the end. Mike Maga seems like he wants to take a fight here. Lancer stumbled only on the ETC. Penetrating around does not help close the gap. Jumpy Lion with Jaina there, a little bit of trouble. Mike Magas now with the Ancestral connecting on the back line. The Stumbled will also go down, but it does not do anything. Kaija with the Ice Block already. There goes the second one onto Asurai, and it does look like Greymane's taking a lot of damage. Frick now a little bit out of position, but it still have got that mosh pit. Gotta be very careful about that. Asurai waiting for it. The core dropping a lot of HP already, and there we go. We got a Divine Shield onto that Greymane, but the core will drop, and it seems like Cow Level Gaming picks up the first game against Renovatio 2. Speaking about underdogs there, that doggy Greymane did not do a lot of work this game. Man, I just had to say that, but Greymane, I really want to check out Greymane's damage at the end of this game because that's really important. And if you look at it, Greymane dealt 64,000 damage, but he did not manage to kill enough targets in most of those fights. I don't think it's really his fault. More on like Jaina, because Jaina's Ring of Frost was just not on point. And at the end of the day, Renovatio had more kills. Full on credits to Greymane, 8 kills there. I don't see Greymane doing a lot of work. I think he did a lot of damage, and those 8 kills were kind of like the early game. I feel that it's basically the late game that really got torn apart, where Greymane couldn't kill anyone, despite making aggressive plays. That's because Tesla, I mean, face it, that guy has Force Wall. That's about it. What's he gonna do? And he also didn't really go for a damage-oriented build. I think he went for Dimension Warp as well as the Prussians. And on the side here for Jaina looks like she basically didn't do enough as well. She is the main problem of this team, and that's the problem there. They really need to evaluate what Kaija can play better, because Jaina was not cooperating in that game at all. I think that ETC landed a few good mosh pits, but there was no burst damage, A, or B. Ring of Frost just came out, but there is no lockdown. Maybe they were thinking of using Ring of Frost to lock down the targets, and then use ETC to go in for Mosh Pit. But by then, you don't have enough damage already. And don't forget, Jaina went for Northern Exposure. So if you really want lockdown, Cone of Cold would have been a lot better with the Numbing Blast upgrade at level 16. That's a bit of a confusion on that part, I feel. And that's about it. So in 20 minutes in, we got CLG winning the first game. How's that for an upset? I like that a lot. No Bloodlust, but still Ancestral did its work. And with that said, we are actually going for a very short break right now. And we'll be back again with game number 2. So hope you guys enjoyed discussing coverage. Shout out to sponsors, Razer, PLDT, Sharp, as well as Streaming Partner XSplit. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. A boss attempt. Also see the Pharaoh Spirit going in. Gotta be very careful. You don't want to step out of boundary there. Jumpy Lion going to give the chase. Ring of Frost doesn't connect. Apocalypse does go down. Connects on 2 targets. Only Asurai now. A little bit of trouble, but he's trying to drink away the woos there. Also pops. The Storm of Fire comes back out. Nobody cares about the Mercenary Camp. Myra is going to go down. And the Sundering connecting in the back line though. We still see Chen giving chase. Dog's going to take the fall. Freak now pulling back. And Chen being played to a perfect T. Giving chase against Cerebro.